Already, the Skinhead Gourmet. Today we're going to be doing Alfredo sauce and a whole bunch of fun variations of what you can do with it. Stay tuned, this is the Skinhead Gourmet. World of Alfredo sauces. I'm going to show you how to make Alfredo in a couple of different ways. It's a very basic sauce that has a lot of room to be played with. You can do a lot with it. It's quick to make, it's easy, and it's hard to find anybody who doesn't like it. So the first thing you're going to want to do, depending as to how you want to cook it, I've got one variation here. I'm going to start with a little bit of bacon. It's going to make it more of like a carbonara. But if you're doing it with bacon, the first thing you want in that pan is bacon with a little bit of garlic. If you're going to go without the bacon, you're going to want to get a pan, get your heat going, get that hot, and right off the bat, you're going to want to get your garlic in the pan and splash a little bit of olive oil and white wine. Not very much, just a quick little splash. Now for this, I'd use probably about 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of white wine. Also comes down to taste. If you're not crazy about white wine, maybe less. If you love it, maybe a little bit more. You don't want to kill your flavor though, but you want to get this in before you start with anything else. And if you've watched my show, you know a little bit of parsley never hurts anything. Okay, so now we've got our garlic and our white wine reduced, and in our other pan we've got our bacon cooked to about a little crispy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the pan, directly pour in heavy cream. Now you can also substitute half and half if you're a little either health conscious or just in a pinch. Now with half and half you will have to cook it a little bit longer. It takes a while to reduce it, and it's not going to quite be the same, but like I said, in a pinch, it will work. Now, one thing you are going to have to do is once you get this going, you're going to need to keep stirring it. You're not going to want to burn it, and you're not going to want to let it overboil. Because what will happen is this will heat up very quick, and it will reduce very quick. So once you get your sauce starting, once your cream is starting to boil, you're going to want to start to add some variety of grated Italian cheese. A Parmesan, a Romano, an Asiago. I'm a fan of a mixture of all three, and you're just going to want to start stirring, slowly add and incorporate it. Let the cheese spread around a little bit before you add more. This way you'll avoid it from letting it clump up, and you'll get a more uniform flavor and quality all throughout your sauce. Now you can actually remove the heat or just turn it off for a second once you get your cheese melted and incorporated in, and then you can start looking to see where you're going to go from here. Alright, now once your sauce is done and you got the cheese in it, you can take it as is, put it right over pasta, or you can add to it a little bit and have some fun. One thing I can always recommend, add a little bit of fresh parsley into it. It's going to give it a nice flavor. It's going to boost it up and give it some color. But there's a few things I just love putting into an Alfredo. For one, mushrooms. Always a safe bet. Always tasty. And they add a little bit of texture, they add a little bit of flavor, and they kind of round out your dish. I'm also a fan if you take some baby carrots, cut them into small coins. When you do this, you're getting yourself more into the realm of a pasta primavera. Also, a little bit of sauteed spinach never ever hurts. But you want to get your veggies in there and start stirring them. Now, if you're not a fan of having like a hard, crispy, like crunchy veggie in your sauce, you can go parboil it, give it a quick saute. You know, be creative. Try to bring as much flavor to the table as possible. As good as Alfredo is, one thing that it's wonderful at doing is magnifying other things that just taste really good with it. And it's the sort of thing that you can kind of make the same dish every week, change it just enough that nobody realizes they're getting the same thing every week. They think every week is something different on pasta night. And again, at this point, you can take it and just serve it as is. There's some other things that are very good that you can do that taste well. And again, add a little variety to your life. A little bit of feta, like a nice briny Greek crumbled cheese, right into an Alfredo. Usually towards the end, as it will go down quick, we'll add an extra little element of flavor to it. Now, if you're going to serve this over pasta, this would be about the time that you'd want to start adding the pasta to your sauce. Now, and if you're like me, you've got a little bit of par-cooked pasta hanging around the house at all times, this is a wonderful time to add it right into the pot. You've already got your pasta that's most of the way cooked, and this way you can heat the pasta up, get it back up to temperature while you're kind of finishing the sauce. And this way it'll coat the pasta, you'll get a nice uniform flavor all throughout, and it's a lot easier to serve right out of the pan this way than having to make a mess and, you know, take things from different spots. But this guy right here is ready to go, where I have my bacon Alfredo over here cooking. One thing that I always love doing with an Alfredo is I always have a little bit of red gravy hanging around. Every time I make it, I always make sure I freeze some. It's the way my mother and her friend Bonnie taught me how to make it. You always keep a little bit for later. You get finished Alfredo, add a spoon or two of like a red sauce or red gravy, whatever you want to call it. You start mixing this up, you can get what's called a rosé. Now, there's a few different names for it. I like rosé. It gives you a rosy kind of color and it sounds fancy. Really, it's just a creamy tomato sauce. But adding that little bit of tomato in there is going to give it a whole new dimension of flavor. And again, you get colorful, you get variety, and you get difference. And this one here, just like the other one, you take a little bit of par-cooked pasta, finish your pasta right in the sauce, you get that all together, so you're going to get all that flavor is going to be nicely incorporated in. You end up with a wonderful meal, your family thinks you're a rock star, and you're eating well. Hope you guys enjoy making Alfredo, explore it a little bit, have fun, enjoy, and bon appetit. One nice thing you can do, if you're going to make an Alfredo two ways like this, you can take a small bowl like this, and you can have a little sample of each different flavor. Anyone who has kids or has cooked for kids can tell you it's hard to get everybody eating at a table to want to eat the same thing. So this way you can kind of spread around, get people to try something different while you're still basically making the same thing. And hopefully making everybody happy.
Let's go back to 78. I owe the pleasure to Mum's workmate. Gave to me this busted tape. Give this a listen, it's fucking great. Didn't know it was punk rock. Kids in my street, I love the shop. Sat in the shed, I played it all day. A new generation was on its way. Torture tunes from the other side. What's it